Welcome to Willow Talk once again. Adam Peacock alongside Alyssa Healy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Going really well, thank you.
Still good to be home?
Still great to be home. Had a little cheeky round of golf yesterday. I know all the Willow Talk listeners love to hear about our golf adventures, but it was nice to get back out there in the sunshine.
Yeah, no, I was rocking back on Tuesday night. Happened to catch the news. Tuesday night it was. And up pops you on the news. I was like Leo DiCaprio's character in Wolf of Wall Street, like sitting on my couch with a beer and a fag in my hand going, oh, wait, I know. Yeah.
I was there. Yeah, that's what you should have done, but I'm pretty disappointed that you didn't make the news, but at least one of us did.
I'm not disappointed about that. I'm not disappointed about that. Like, in all seriousness, how many messages... It's one thing we didn't touch on the other day, but how many did your phone literally blow up over the last week about everyone checking in, and did you end up having the copy-paste option to answer people?
To be completely honest, not many people actually knew I was in India until last night, probably when they were watching the news or if they've seen the clips on Instagram or listened to the podcast. I had a few people message and saying, oh, you're back home. I heard the podcast. so I don't often let people know of my whereabouts, but no, everyone's happy that everyone's safe and home and back to normal life. Yeah,
the wheels look like they're turning again on the IPL, so we'll get to that a bit later on, and what's going to happen with the resumption of the IPL. And also today we're going to go through the Australian World Test 11, the World Test Championship squad. It's been named. We'll get you to narrow down on 11, if that's all right.
Sure. I mean, that's what I'm here for, hey?
Yeah, exactly. No fence sitting, thank you. Unlike Haddon. We can't find Haddon, by the way. He's safe, but we were hoping to have him on this, and he could pop up during this broadcast or recording of this episode, but we've messaged him. I think the time difference has got him this time, so we're hoping to have Hads on. If not today, we'll get him early next week.
I feel like it's a weak excuse because I'm actually not sure that Hads sleeps. So he should be awake. And even if they are on a bus travelling somewhere, I feel like that's the best time to get on Willow Talk, I would have thought.
The wonderful recording nature of what we do here at Willow Talk, sometimes we record a bit before when it gets released, and we did that the other day, and we talked about, wonder if Virat's going to retire. Hours before our release, he, of course, comes out and says, I'm retiring from Test cricket. So we'll talk about it properly today here on Willow Talk and reminisce some of his best moments. Have you got one in mind?
I do have one in mind, actually, and I can tell this story because Mitch wasn't actually playing that Test match. But I remember watching it and thinking, wow. So I'll share that one.
Cool. And as mentioned, the IPL revised schedule and Sundries as well. And before we get going, we do need to make note of the fact that this week is 3 years since the passing of Andrew Symonds. And, went quick. You see these pictures pop up on social media remembering the ones close to him, and he is obviously sorely missed in the Australian cricketing community.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 3 years. That time has absolutely flown by.
Exactly. Remember to hit us up on social media if you want to get in touch with the show. Search Willow Talk Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Subscribe to it on the YouTube channel at Listener Sport. There's a video recirculating online of Dale Steyn in South Africa bowling blistering pace and reverse swing, where Brad Haddon was at the other end and received an absolute peach to blow his stumps in all directions. And Hads does maintain that he's got a picture on his mantelpiece of him playing the perfect forward defensive stroke. I do maintain there was a little gap between bat and pad. Yeah. Do you remember it?
I don't think he really wanted to get close to the ball. That's what I remember. He was sort of half protecting his stumps, half wanting to get out of there, I reckon.
So for some reason, about 20 people have sent it to the Willow Talk page in the last week, and Hads is going to appreciate you guys reminding him of the moment. Maybe it's now that this World Test Championship finals are getting closer, and South Africa have announced that they've got the warm-up game, and we've announced our World Test Championship final squad. So it's Cummins, Khawaja, Constas, Marnus, Smith, Head, Green, Inglis, Carey, Webster, Starc, Hazelwood, Boland, Lyon, Kuhneman and Brendan Doggett as the travelling reserve. Why do they need to say travelling reserve? Why don't you just say he's in the squad? Is it, I don't know, finance or?
Well, is he 15? Because they named a 14, didn't they? And is he the 15th player?
I think he's 16.
Oh, I can't count, so.
7, 8, 9. This is great. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Bear with us.
Yeah, he's 16. He's 16.
Oh, right.
So there's 15 in the squad already.
Yeah.
But this is a squad to couple into the Windies tour because they're thinking that they go.
There's a lot of cricket straight after. So I would assume that Maybe some workload stuff in and around the fast bowlers in particular. They wanted the extra quick. But yeah, I don't really know why they have to call him reserve as well. I'm not too sure.
What pops out on that squad for you?
I mean, I'm a little. What's the word I'm looking for? I thought maybe Marcus Harris might get a look into the squad, like just knowing how well he's been going over there. But then there's no real surprise that he's not in there because, I mean, they've spoken about Constas the whole time, basically coming back in. But
there's not even McSweeney.
Yeah.
So you'd think that McSweeney is ahead of Harris in the pecking order.
Well, yeah, and I think Cam Green coming back in to the squad straight away looks like potentially we might get a go in the top order as well. So what that looks like for the batting lineup will be really, really interesting.
Cam Green looks like the modern day Shane Watson in the sense that the selectors really rate his ability and if fit is picked. Full stop. Is that a fair call? Well,
I think just the nature of how he is as a cricketer. I mean, it's not just his batting, it's also his ability to field. In the gully, he covers about 3 spots there. If bowling, he's obviously one of the first picked as well because he adds a little extra gas to that pace attack as well. So, I mean, yeah, if he's fit and even half fit, like he is just as a bat at the moment, you still want him in your side, I think.
Yeah, exactly. He's hasn't played a test since March 2024, and it was unfortunate timing with the back injury. But hoping that, and it looks like with his stint in county cricket, that he is back to full enough capabilities to be able to play at that level.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I think Australia need him, and they need his versatility in the top order. We've been crying out for people to make runs, and I think he's going to be the guy to do it.
Big question. It's hard to find out because all he's going to do is net in the lead-up, Sam Constas, whether he opens or it didn't sound like George Bailey shot down the thought out of the sky when he was asked about Marnus opening.
Well, I think it'll start to become clear as we get a little bit closer as to what is going to unfold. And I think if you are going to put Cam Green back into the side as a batter, which if you're picking him in the squad, you're probably looking at playing him, then I think Marnus has to shift. I'm not sure Cam Green will want to open. I don't know that for a fact. I'm not sure if he is your opener. It just means that Marnus is probably going to be the one to move. And I mean, even the chatter coming from him saying that he's happy to do it probably leads like it might go that way. Or you do pick Constas and then you're going to have to leave someone out in that middle order who's... so it's going to be a really tricky one for the selectors, but yeah, we'll wait and see how it unfolds.
Okay.
You're the selector.
Yeah. Alyssa Bailey, what's your 11?
Oh no.
And if you're not in this 11, and if you're a cricketer listening to this, don't be pissed off at her. It's just an opinion. Just flying it out there.
Yeah. Just don't give me a D-.
Yeah. D+.
Well, I think it's really hard, and I'm looking at this squad going, how do you fit that 15 into the 11 and which way do you go? Because there's a lot of different options you can go with. But personally, I think you've got to play Cam Green. So what does that do to your lineup? Well, someone's going to have to shift. I think Constas is going to sit on the sideline. Boland's probably the other one that's going to sit on the sideline. So I'm just knocking off the 4 that probably won't play. So it'll be Boland, Kuhnemann, Inglis and Constas.
Okay.
Where does that leave me?
Yeah. Fair, I think.
Okay. So that means...
You've gone the safe side there.
So that means it's going to be Khawaja to open with...
Marnus.
I'm going to go Marnus.
Yeah.
Steve Smith at 3.
Yep.
Cam Green at 4. Travis Head at 5. Bo Webster at 6. Carey 7.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
And then the bowlers. Cummins, Starc, Lyon, Hazelwood.
Yeah.
How's that look?
It's pretty stock standard.
Yeah.
The opening position, I mean, obviously they look at this and it's a final, but do they then, for the Windies, do they start looking beyond?
Well, that's been my argument all along is, well, what squad are they going to pick? Are we picking a team for this one-off game?
Have to.
So if you're doing that, you're picking guys in form. That's where Marcus Harris is screaming at the moment to go, just pick him for that game if that's what you're going to do. But if you're going to pick this side for the next 12 months, then Sam Constas has to open, right? Because you've picked a guy in the squad, you're picking for the future. Don't carry him around on tour if you're not going to play him, because he's better off probably being at home playing some cricket or playing county cricket in England if you're not going to play him in the side. So that's where I'm like, I feel like we need some answers in that regard as to go, okay, are we going for the win and just picking our best 11, or are we picking for the long term?
You have to, for the final, like it's essentially you're at a tournament and you've got to the last game of the tournament, this final. That's surely how it's viewed. And as a captain, you'd want to be selecting the here and now, wouldn't you? You want those who are in form to win that game in isolation and worry about tomorrow.
True. But it's not like a normal tournament where you've got guys in form leading in. There's guys not playing any cricket leading into that. So how do you know? We're going to have to pick our 11 based on what the last 12 months has been like in our test team and who's been performing, who hasn't been, and what our makeup is going to need to look like from a balance point of view. So it's fascinating.
Hads has that fervent view that you can prepare for a game like this with high-intensity training as opposed to being out in the middle. What's your view as a current player? Are you a player that likes a game, an actual contest before to lead up, or can you do it all at practice?
Well, honestly, I hate practice games and I'm really shit at them. So
unless it's Sharks v Dolphins and you're ripping each other's heads off.
I'm 30 off 10 there and then I get out of there. But practice games for me, I just tend to get out. Like it's almost like I can't get up for that fixture, so I find it really difficult to switch on. So I think there's value in it from a physical perspective, being out there on your feet, running around in the field, having an opportunity to open the batting against the opening bowlers and whatnot. Because a lot of the guys these days don't really get to face the bowlers that much either. They face a lot from the dog thrower, the flinger. A lot of throws in the nets to prepare themselves technically, and then they go out in the middle and hope to perform. So, yeah, I see Hads' point, and you can prepare with the right practice. I don't necessarily think you have to be playing games of cricket. And the flip side of that is you could feel really good in the nets and get out in the middle and nick off twice for naught, and then you go, uh-oh, heading into the final. So if you're, I guess, mentally firing in that regard and positive, then I think that's a win.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of cricket, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bad.
That's why there's so much head noises. One loose shot and
we're all crazy, Adam. Like, you know that, right? And I think
next 3 days is ruined.
Yeah. And hopefully people have started to get to know me on the podcast. We're all mad. Like, I don't know why we play this sport. And it was actually funny over at the IPL. I was with Tristan Stubbs' partner after one game. It was one of the rained out games, and we waited till 11:30 at night for that game to be called off, right? And there was puddles on the ground. Like, we were never getting on. And I was sitting there playing Candy Crush because I just was waiting for the bus. Anyway, we sat on the bus and I said, "What a sport, hey? What a sport." And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, like, I'm actually judging you right now because sadly I love it and I play it and I'm involved in it, so I've got to be here. Yeah. I'm like, you chose to be here.
You made a choice.
So I'm like, I'm judging you more than myself right now because sadly I love it and I even think like what a stupid sport we play, but I mean, it's great.
I think this goes away to explain why so many cricketers play golf, because in golf you can hit a shit shot and you get an opportunity within the next 3 minutes to rectify that, whereas in cricket...
Well, funnily enough, we have this. Opposite. Yeah, we actually have this argument a lot at home. We've gone way off track here, but I'm going to stick with it. But we have this argument at home. Is it worse being a batter or a bowler? And I often say, well, batter, because you nick off and you go and sit down. You get one crack, right? You get a really good delivery. You get one crack and your day's done. Mitch, on the other hand, is like, well, I think it's worse being a bowler. And I said, why is that? And he said, if you're bowling shit, you got to keep going. And I said, yeah, you get another crack. Like, you get 5 more opportunities to get it right. And he said, if those 5 balls go to the boundary, then what? And I was like, you get another opportunity. He's like, do you know how demoralising it is running in knowing that you're going to get hit for 6? And I was like, actually, you're right. And then I was thinking about it as a batter. If I nick off first ball, I just go and have lunch. Whereas he's got to stay out there and keep toiling away. So there's some positives and negatives to both sides, but it's a common argument at home.
Oh, they're both psychologically demoralising in their own right.
Yep.
God bless cricket.
Yep.
South Africa, so their squad, very strong lineup. I'm fascinated to see what they come up with the ball in conditions, and remembering back to the India World Test Championship final, the conditions were pretty friendly for batting. There were clear skies, but if you cop 20-degree days with cloud height barely above the stands at Lords with the slope, and Rabada, Jansen charging in, look at the look on your face. It's just yuck. And then they can chuck the ball to Maharaj, a fantastic spinner. So they've got some real danger about their team. What pops out about their squad to you?
The size of it. I mean, the size of the bowling attack is ridiculous. I mean, I stood next to Marco Jansen for the first time the other night, post-evacuation, and I literally was like, that is the tallest guy I've ever seen. And I haven't been to a lot of NBA fixtures, but he has got to be the tallest person I've ever met in my life. It terrifies me, and I'm not even part of the fixture, with those guys running in with the Duke's ball. I think that is a scary prospect. Marco Jansen swings them at the best of times, bowls heat, comes from a real height.
From the members for Pavilion, where for those, I've been lucky enough to stand out in the middle at Lords, it is like you think, it's the slope, whatever, but it feels like it's a foot above you the other end. It's
a real art to playing cricket at Lords, and we found this out in our Ashes series over there where we drew the series. Everyone says we lost it, but we actually drew it and we brought the trophy home. But we found that out at Lords. It's the first time a lot of us had played there, and I didn't realise how big the slope was and how much it plays a part in what you're doing, whether it be batting or bowling, and tactically how much it comes into play. It was fascinating, and we were very underprepared as to what that looks like. But these guys have played there a little bit. They know what they're doing. But to think about either of those guys, coming back in at you down the slope is a little bit scary. But a really good team. I think there's a lot of players in form too from the batting side of things as well, and some real power in there as well. When you look at Rickleton,
they've got some serious firepower.
Yeah, they're not worried about our bowling attack as such. So they're a gutsy team, which I love watching. And I think it's just going to be a really cool showdown to watch.
Tristan Stubbs, you mentioned you got to know Tristan, being part of the same squad as Mitch at the IPL. So can he play a role? How's he feeling about this setup? You said he's actually a really quiet, humble, just blend in kind of guy. So he's they all seem to go about it like that. And there's a bit of Kiwi about this group where they seem like a nice bunch of guys, but then probably there's some white line fever as well. They want to beat Australia and win that mace. But yeah, I think he's got a huge role to play. He's one of the most informed players over this 12 months in all formats. I think he's shown that, and his maturity at 24 years of age is like something I haven't quite seen before, and I was like quite complimentary of it over at the IPL. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to go about his business and finish games if that's what he needs to do. He knows how to dig in. I've seen him do it in the test format, and he knows how to change gears really quickly. So he's going to be really crucial in the middle order for them. But the power they've got with the bat as well. I mean, you've got Bavuma there who can just He's Pajara, he could stay there all day, take a beating from the fast bowlers. But there's guys that counter-attack in that side, which is going to be a real test for our big quicks. Virat Kohli has announced his retirement from Test cricket after scoring 9,230 runs in 210 digs, average of just under 47, 30 hundreds, 31 50s, highest score 254. He said in an emotional post, as you'd expect, he's just not just going to put it out there and say, see you later. It says, it's been 14 years since I first wore the baggy blue in Test cricket. Honestly, I never imagined the journey this format would take me on. It's tested me, shaped me, and taught me lessons I'll carry for life. There's something deeply personal about playing in whites, the quiet grind, the long days, the small moments that no one sees but stay with you forever. He went on to say a few more things and then ended with, I'll always look back at my Test career with a smile. I think a few people will look back on his Test career as well, especially Indian fans, with a smile as well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, sad day. Poor Brian Lara, he was wrong. Sadly, he's going to go out averaging 46.8. But it's like obviously there was a little bit of chatter about it, and we spoke about it the other day on the podcast. And now that it's actually true, I feel a little bit sad. I mean, we speculated about it as to whether it was going to happen, and we know that in Australia he was kind of mentioning a lot that he was done, and no one really believed him. But now that it's actually unfolding, I feel a bit sad that we're not going to see him run around in the whites just because of the way that he plays the game. I think he brings a real energy to Test cricket that not as many seem to have nowadays. So I feel like that's going to be missed.
Read a really good article written by Greg Chappell, who obviously knows Indian cricket backwards, given the time that he spent in the country with development and all of that. He said that the new age Indian cricketer was kind of, you first saw that kind of stand up to everyone nature from Sourav Ganguly. Then MS Dhoni took over and he had a quiet steel about him, but then Virat Kohli was just like took it to another level, and as if to say, we will stand up to everyone and we will not back down to anyone. Did you get that feeling about his personality, or was that purely him on the test cricket arena?
Like I don't know him overly well. I've had a couple of dealings with him. Like Mitch played with him in IPL, and I've bumped into him quite a bit throughout our international career. He's always been very, very lovely to me, and a really quiet, unassuming guy, and then steps on the field and he's like this completely different character. But I loved it, and I think it was quite polarising over in India. He shook the tree to an extent and made guys work hard, and pretty much found out the guys that didn't really want to work that hard and they lost their spot in the team. So he was kind of polarising is the word over there from a cricket sense, but I think he genuinely, when he came in as skipper, he made that side better. He made them work hard, want to be there, want to win, play an aggressive style of cricket, which I thought was awesome, and they've kind of still maintained that right throughout, even when Rohit took over the captaincy as well. So he kind of, I wouldn't say like changed the game, but I think he made the Indian cricketers look at the game a little bit differently, which is a real legacy piece for him.
Because you look at the physical shape he always rocked up in, and it was always late. I've heard stories at the IPL where he has to clear out the gym because he's so famous, and he gets his security detail down there to make sure that, someone who's not meant to be there is there. But he works and prepares like the elite of the elite. Yeah,
well, he's an athlete, I think, and you can still see it, the way that he still moves after as long as of a career as what he's played. And obviously he's still playing the white ball formats, which is quite an athletic format of the game to play. So, yeah, he works harder than anybody, and that's probably why his record speaks for itself.
Cricket Nuffy, in those dealings that you had with him? Like when you talk, he's probably not talking about how many pitches he's got in the tabloids. He's actually talking about the detail of cricket.
Yeah, I think I remember having a couple of cricket conversations with him. He was always very curious about the women's game and where it was at, and this was a long time ago, mind you. But the dealings with him in the past, he's always asked how I'm going and what's next for us, and to know how busy he is, how much is on his plate, how much is probably on his mind, the fact that he's like thinking about others, I think speaks volumes of the man.
So what about the tributes that he got on social media? So obviously the big name cricketers, AB de Villiers, Joe Root, Kane Williamson, Steve Smith, always saying nice things about him. But what about this for a list? Harry Kane, Oscar Piastri, Manchester City, Willow Talk, Wimbledon, Conor McGregor, Novak Djokovic paid tribute. Conor McGregor.
Huge.
Oh, I know Ireland's got a cricket team, but I didn't expect that one.
But you know who's not on that list? Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Sad.
Virat Kohli.
Kohli. Well, I mean, but I think that shows, like, he's a superstar. He's not just a cricketer. He's a superstar of world sport. And that's the way that he portrays himself and the way he acts as an athlete. And obviously what he does on the field as well has made him who he is. And to have tributes like that coming from all different sports, but right around the world as well, just shows how big it is.
You got a favourite moment that you drops out? It's not unfortunate in a way, but it kind of sums him up that one of his last moments as a test cricketer was on that last day at the SCG when he was just giving it to the crowd and reminding Australian fans about sandpaper. Anyway, but it must be said, it did pop into my mind last night about how he stood up for Steve Smith and basically told at the 2019 World Cup, and I know this is white ball cricket, not test cricket, that he's retired from. They announced his retirement from test cricket, but he told the Indian fans to just quieten down the boos of Steve Smith mid-innings. It's like, just ease up on him. Let's all just celebrate the game. Well, you don't see that too often.
No, you don't. One of my memories was, I think, in 2014 when they were out here, his back-to-back hundreds in Adelaide. He just got the captaincy. MS Dhoni can't remember if MS Dhoni was injured or Virat had taken over properly then. But he came out and his counter-attack against our bowling line, I think it was like Mitchell Johnson, Ryan Harris, Peter Siddle, Nathan Lyon was there as well, because I think Nath took 7 for in that second innings to win us the game. But Virat went 100 in the first innings, like changed the pace of the game really quickly to put it back on the bowlers. I think he went hard at Mitchell Johnson to make 100 there, and then kept his team in the fixture in the second innings by making another 100. And as soon as he got out, basically the game was won for Australia. So that was one for me. It was like he's taken over the captaincy and he's gone, bang, I'm going to lead by example and come out and show everyone how we want to play our Test cricket. So that's one that stands out for me, and I can bring that one up because Mitch wasn't playing, so I could actually say that one. But no, I just remember thinking like, wow, like that's a leader.
Yeah.
To do that. So yeah, well, it's sad we won't get to see that again, but hopefully many more white ball memories.
Well, I can ask him when he comes in eventually because we'll get him in again. But Mitch.
He saw our tribute. Oh, you meant Mitch.
No, Mitch.
Not Kohli.
Virat's going to pop in next week.
Yep.
No, but Mitch, like, how did he describe what it was like to bowl to him, especially when he was seeing it like a watermelon?
Well, I was like, funnily enough, Mitch actually liked bowling to him because he's like just hanging outside off stump, and Virat loved to nick it because he was just. But that's like, I love that. And everyone's saying, oh, he's got this technical flaw outside his off stump. Yeah, because he wants to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done throughout his whole career. To be brave enough to drive those balls on the up is going to get you out every now and then, but you're going to counter-attack as well. If he gets it right, it puts it back on the bowler. But, yeah, when he was unbelievably still at the crease and his head did not move, he looked so difficult to remove. And he's just the flair that he had both sides of the wicket was is pretty cool.
So a quick quiz for you.
Oh, God.
What Australian Test cricketer took the most wickets of
Virat?
The most dismissals of Virat Kohli?
I feel like it's Mitch.
Well, bias would tell you
Scrub that out.
And bias would tell you that you're wrong.
Oh. Are they still playing?
Yes.
We narrow it down.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Josh Hazelwood.
No.
Oh, okay, I'll give up.
Nathan.
Oh, there you go.
Nathan Lyon, 7 dismissals.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you scrub out all my bad answers?
Out of Boland, Cummins, Hazelwood, Starc, who has dismissed Virat Kohli the most?
I feel like it's Josh.
I feel like you're out of the will because it's Mitch.
Oh, God, I'm having a stinker. Mitchell Starc, yeah.
Yes, Mitchell Starc.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, and last one then.
I don't like this game anymore.
Out of Hazelwood, Cummins, Boland,
Oh.
who has dismissed Virat Kohli the most? It's a
Josh Hazelwood.
It's a trick question.
Oh, no, they haven't got him out.
Yeah, they've all got him out.
Oh, they're all the same?
Correct. Go on, yes. 5 times each. Scotty Boland, 5 times.
Thanks for narrowing that right down so that I could get the correct answer.
got a
Oh, there you
point.
go. Interesting.
Well done. Yeah, it's an even bunch.
Well done, Mitch.
Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad had success against him, but I mean, name a batter that didn't find trouble with Jimmy Anderson and Stuart Broad in English conditions when they were at their top.
When you got one guy swinging it away from you and can bring it back in, and you got Stuart Broad with his wobble seam, it's a nightmare.
Looking down at his list of dismissals in Test cricket, you look down at it, and it's the ones who have had success of him are the absolute best of the era, like sustained success. You've got the odd one here and there that's taken the odd wicket, but not many. You look and go, oh, he's had trouble with this guy, but he hasn't had great success overall. So he's
that's a legacy, I think.
That is a legacy.
It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Quick drinks break, and back in a moment on Willow Talk to talk a bit of IPL resumption and Sundries. Let's talk IPL now on Willow Talk. So the resumption is on May 17, locked in RCB to take on Kolkata. Squeeze schedule, 12 games remaining of the regular season. They've put the final down for June 3. Obviously, things can happen. We'll park the geopolitical situation that's going on in that part of the world to one side and talk about the cricket and focus solely on the cricket right now. The question that probably everyone's asking you to, yourself and Mitchell, you going back or don't know yet?
Yeah, not sure yet. I don't know the answer. He's working through all that personally, and all the other Aussie players are doing the same thing. I think trying to gather as much information as possible as to what things are going to look like from a safety and well-being perspective over there. So I think decisions will start being made. Obviously, it starts in a couple of days' time again, so going to have to make their minds up pretty quickly. But it'll be interesting to see how that one all plays out.
Yeah, what day is May 7 now? I don't even know what day. That's Saturday. So it resumes on Saturday. So Joss Buttler, Jacob Bethel and Will Jacks are set to head back to India, but are going to miss the finals because of the white ball side for England take on the West Indies. So there's that to take into consideration. This is where the squeeze on, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how much preparation Cricket Australia demands from its players before the World Test Championship final, as it sets here, the finals on 8 days before the start of the World Test Championship final. Yep. That's not ideal. You want them preparing for red ball cricket a bit earlier than that.
Not ideal, and obviously with the IPL supposed to be initially finishing on the 25th of May. A lot of the NOCs that have been signed by all the different organisations which allow the players to go and play in these franchise leagues end on the 25th of May.
So that's your clearance certificate to be able to go and play that, saying that you will not be called up for a national team in that period up until this particular date.
Yep.
So now that's kind of in the paper shredder and it's having to be redone.
So even you look at from the Australian perspective, it runs out on the 25th of May. So there's an interesting, a bit of a conundrum there as well. Is it's like, well, do you want your NOC to be extended? Will cricket extend your NOC as well to let you stay if you do make the finals to play, to then go on to the Test Championship final if you're a part of that? Or you look at the England guys, they've got a white ball series against West Indies, so they won't be there for the final. So then it's a toss-up for the teams as well, the franchises, to go, well, obviously, yes, you want your big stars coming back and taking part, but then if you're going to have to get some new players in for the final series, is it worth playing some of your other players that you know that are going to be there? So it's thrown the change in schedule has thrown a few questions up, but it'll be interesting to see how each individual franchise goes about things.
So Pat Cummins and Travis Head are going back to Sunrisers. Pat's the face of the franchise. He's the captain. So you understand that one. Mitch Owen and Xavier Bartlett are going back for Punjab. Josh Hazelwood, not sure. Rabada and Coetzee, the two South Africans, they're likely to be available for Gujarat's games. Yeah, with the schedule out, you've got a bit of certainty about things. We don't have certainty on Brad Haddin at the moment. We're trying to get a hold of him for this episode. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, yeah, it's all a bit of a quandary right now.
It's an interesting one to follow. And also, like, after what's happened in the last week, I hope that everything remains calm and stays safe for everybody that's going to go back and be involved in it. Obviously, they'll want a resumption because they want to finish it. And they'll want somebody to lift the trophy. Punjab were looking really, really good before the suspension. So they'll want all of their players back and involved in it as much as they can. Whereas the Sunrisers guys who can't make the finals, you look at Chennai as well. There's a lot of teams down the bottom that can't make finals. So to go back over there is, you're asking a lot. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting week to follow, and we'll see how it all pans out. Now,
the godfather of Indian cricket has spoken about some situations involving the IPL and about the fanfare around it. Sonny Gavaskar, obviously. All I can think of when I see his name now is his call of the Rishabh Pant dismissal on ABC radio last summer. Stupid. Was it on Channel 7? I can't remember. But he thinks these days stupid is the dancing girls and the screaming DJs at IPL games. Now, you've been there. Do you agree with him or disagree?
I feel like as I'm getting a little bit older, I tend to agree with him. I mean, it's very loud, but it's not going to make the crowd any less loud either. So I feel like that one we're going to have to deal with. The dancing girls, so be it. I mean, they add a bit of a vibe to the stadium. People tend to enjoy it for whatever reason, but I don't know. That's all part of the IPL, and that's all part of the atmosphere that's created over there, and that's part of Indian cricket as well. I mean, they do that for international fixtures as well. So, an interesting one. We'll see if he gets his way.
The music between every delivery grates me sometimes. Like at Big Bash games, like it's like it jars your soul how loud it is, and I get why they're doing it because they don't want dead air. But you just want to sometimes just sit there and watch a bit of cricket. Yeah,
well, you know what? It actually used to get me into trouble in T20 cricket, and Andrex used to played a lot of cricket with growing up, played at the Sydney Sixers early on. In the T20 format, they love to play the old the charge one, as like a bit of a pump up between balls. I used to get out every ball after that stupid thing was played, and everyone knew it. They used to go, "Calm down, midge," out there when they heard it, because I would just do something stupid because I'd hear that and it'd be like a ball to a red rag. I'd be like, all right, I've got to do something. They clearly think that I'm boring, so they have to play that tune and get out. So maybe less of that is better for all of us involved.
Now to Sundries, the once every 2 months announcement that Pakistan have a new cricket coach. The white ball coach, Mike Hessen, former Black Caps and IPL coach, he's been appointed to the Pakistan white ball team.
Good luck.
Good luck, and make sure you look at the detail in the contract. Put it that way about your payout.
Stay safe first and foremost, but I don't want to comment because I don't know enough about the situation, but hearing Jason Gillespie sort of divulge a little bit of it makes me just think, good luck. It's just seems like a political nightmare within cricket itself. So
House of Cards areas, what goes on there with the PCB. Anyway, England have named their new look white ball side. We mentioned it before, the fact that they're taking on the Windy soon. Harry Brook, of course, is the captain. Liam Livingstone has been dropped. Liam Dawson has been recalled after being left out since 2022. In a random moment in the New Zealand Bangladesh tour, the keeper stood about 2 metres to the right of where a normal keeper stands. The ball went straight and hit the helmet. Result, automatic 5 runs. Have you ever given away 5 runs by not paying attention or not being on your game?
For neither of those reasons, just from being shit and letting it through my legs. Yes, it has hit the helmet. But I've never seen anything like that in my lifetime, in that where he was standing and he just watched the ball go. To be fair, like, it would have been 4 if it didn't hit the helmet, so it's only 1 extra run. But weird.
Like, you get it if you're standing there, and Alex Carey did this beautifully to Josh Hazlewood in a recent test match where there was a plan, and just as Josh is coming to the, I think it was Josh, he moved down to the leg side because he knew that's where he was going to bowl at the armpit and get a dismissal. But you would think that's part of a plan, and who hasn't executed there? So maybe that was the
I don't know if it was reason. A plan, because there was also a first slip. So if he's going to hang it out really, really wide, I'm not sure.
I'm trying to stick up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, and I think we're going to have to ask them, and we'll figure it out.
Anyway, cricket, as we were talking before, does weird things to the mind, and maybe that was it.
We're crazy. You know what does also stuff with you a little bit as a cricketer? Wind. Everyone goes a little bit loopy in the wind. So if it was a windy day in New Zealand, we can blame the wind.
What, like dogs and horses and children? The wind causes havoc.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Andrew Symonds, mentioned him at the top of the pod. So he's passing 3 years ago on May the 14th. It's obviously horrible circumstances, and it was so sudden to everyone. It was an accident, of course. Mm-hmm. So that was where his life was taken away way too soon. So nearly 1,500 test runs. Didn't quite crack it at test level until later in his career, and had those great moments, one in particular at the MCG with his great mate. Over 5,000 one-day runs, absolute gun with the white ball stuff. And he was just 15 runs short of a T20 century that would have made him part of an elite club with hundreds in all formats, 15,000 first-class runs. Love playing for Queensland, 11,000 List A runs, hundreds and wickets across all formats, a genuine all-rounder. Favourite Roy moment? Have you got one? 2,
and you just mentioned it when he made that 100 and he squashed Matthew Hayden's helmet into his face by jumping on him. That was cool.
Squashing anything to do with Matthew Hayden is a
hard
thing to do.
Haydos had him in a grasp around his waist, and I just remember Andrew Symonds being pressed up against him and Matthew Hayden's helmet just being squashed on his head. That, and I mean, you can't go past the tackling a streaker, and I only say that because I tried to do it once and I failed dramatically, but I mean, I loved that. And I've always thought since that moment, since seeing that, because we get told a lot, like if someone runs on the field, don't touch them. Like it's not, just let it go, run away, whatever. And I was like, I've got this. I've seen Andrew Symonds do it. I've got it. Yeah, lo and behold, I didn't grow up with any rugby league background, so I had no idea what I was doing. But that was iconic. And the vision and the photos of that will forever stand out. But I loved watching him go about his fielding as well. I thought that group really changed the game in my mind with when it comes to fielding and how crucial and how you can change games in the field, and he was a real big part of that.
In commentary, he used to get so pissed off with players who just took it for granted that they were in the field just for the sake of it, like so pissed off.
Well, he was ahead of his time in the thought of like, we can win games of cricket with our fielding. It's not just how many runs you make, how many wickets you take. It's like, how can we change the game in the field? And that group really led the way. And some of his run-out dismissals at sort of mid-wicket coming in hunting there was just legendary. So, changed the game. Andrew
Symonds, very much in that category of gone, but not forgotten anytime soon.
No way.
Absolutely not. Heels, thanks for this episode of Willow Talk. We'll catch you next week.
See you soon.
Thanks, everyone. And we'll be back with plenty more Willow Talk and hopefully with Brad Haddon, if he emerges, for a bit more cricket chat. Yeah, thanks for watching the Willow Talk podcast on YouTube. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't have to miss an episode wherever you are. And while you're at it, check out these videos up here. They're mostly good.